A Bay Area man is tapping into the power of one of America's most legendary singers to turn his life around. After a serious health issue and the loss of his job, things looked pretty bleak. But now you could say he's been saved by Sinatra.
Have fun, you happy people, 'cause the drinks and the laughs are on me.
Jonathan Poretz has long had a passion for singing.
If it's possible to make a living singing, I'm going to give it every shot I have.
Until my number's up, I gotta fill my cup. I gotta live until I die.
2 years ago, he was on a different path, a career public relations executive who didn't realize he had sleep apnea.
Angel eyes.
It was the scariest thing that ever happened. It happened over a couple of weeks where I started losing vision in my right eye.
Lack of blood flow almost killed his optic nerve.
I found out that 22 times an hour I stopped breathing for 10 seconds when I was sleeping. So not only was I annoying my wife, but I was also taking my life and putting it in jeopardy. It was the night that Sinatra...
He's now 97% blind in his right eye, and then things got worse.
Almost to the day, a year later, I was laid off of my job of almost 10.5 years.
Oh, that's life.
That's when he decided to take a shot at following his passion and contacted a friend in Las Vegas to try to find an agent.
I never did get the name of the agent. Instead, I got a text, "Do you want to go to Germany for 3 months to play Frank Sinatra?"
That tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life.
Last year was the 100th anniversary of Sinatra's birth. And even in Germany, Poretz found audiences hungry for old blue eyes, even if his are brown.
Been on a dream.
All you have to do is give the audience little pieces. Let them connect the dots. So the movements that Sinatra has, the phrasing that Sinatra has. When you sing those songs and you have the attitude of Frank Sinatra and you sing well, you can actually pull it off. And people want to believe.
When I was 17, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for small town girls and the soft summer nights.
Tonight, Poretz performed at the Wells Fargo Center with the Santa Rosa Symphony Orchestra. The dream of performing with a full orchestra fulfilled.
Frank Sinatra was the phoenix. He rose from the ashes.
From the brim to the dregs, it poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year.
His life, in some ways, mirroring that of the chairman of the board.
I never really thought about patterning myself after him, but that's a pretty interesting role model. Because when you are at the lowest, when things are bad, you could dwell in it and you could just walk away. Or you could say, you know what? I've got a lot of life left and I've got a lot to do and I really want to be good at it. And I think that probably is a good roadmap for me.
Thank you.
Jonathan Poretz has more shows coming up in the Bay Area in Morgan Hill and Walnut Creek, and he'll be at Feinstein's at the Nico Hotel in San Francisco on Thursday and Friday, November 3rd and 4th. And he also wants to remind you, if you snore, it would be a good idea to check with your doctor to see if you have sleep apnea, because as you can see, Heather, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I had no idea that it could possibly lead to
lack of blood flow to the optic nerve just by snoring, and you stop breathing while you're sleeping.
And to think of the power of music and the power of Frank Sinatra upon this man, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and it's something that opened doors when he got sick and when he lost his job. You know, he had that passion for singing, but didn't think he could really make a career out of it, and all of a sudden these opportunities opened up. It timed out with the 100th anniversary of Frank Sinatra's birth, and now he's got all these gigs and things are looking pretty good.
Kind of gave him some inspiration, right? A reason to keep on going.
Yeah.
Great story, Ken.
And thanks to Mark Quinn for some good editing on that.
Beautifully, beautifully done.